I will go in there with busted limbs. I will go in there with my eyes shut. I will go in there and wrestle. I'm addicted.
I think I was 14 when I first came to terms with I wouldn't mind doing this. By the time I was 16, I'm gonna do this.
My father, at 7 years old, asked me a simple question. He'd say, "Butch, do you want to see someone fly?"
I took a chair in the face once, hit me here, broke this tooth, and opened my lip up here, where I could hold it up and see my teeth under my lip here.
I had a bad injury in about '84 where I broke my sternum in a tag match at Walthamstow. That did heal up okay, but you're still always wary of injuries like that.
I've always been a fan. One of my sisters got me into it. Every Saturday she used to come round, we used to watch it on the TV, and as I got older I found a wrestling school, decided that I had to go, begged my mum to lend me the £15 train fare and training fee, and started training.
I was a judo man. I was a second dan judo. I was in a British judo team, and it went on from there. Really, just snowballed from there. Found something to do with the martial art that I learned, and wrestling seemed to be the thing. I saw wrestling on the holiday centres years ago, Pontins and stuff like that. And my oldest brother used to wrestle with me as well. He come up to us one day and said, "What do you think? You know, do you reckon we stand a chance?" And I thought, so we can always give it a try. So we approached Max Crabtree, Dow Martin Promotions, and Max Crabtree gave us a try. And here I am, 28, 29 years later. I've got injuries. I mean, I've had injuries. I've broken arm, broken leg, broke my back. I fractured 2 vertebrae in my back, which put me out for 3.5 years. You do get injured out there. You know, you get injured, you can take on some real heavy injuries, and it puts you out for a long, long time. I mean, I've got arthritis now in ankles and hands, but I love wrestling. Wrestling's my addiction. I love it to bits, and nothing or no one will ever stop me getting in that ring doing what I love to do best. He's fast, he's fit, he's super fit. I know he's a personal trainer. I know he trains people fitness and all sorts, and he is super fast, super quick. So, yeah, it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. Every time I go out there in a wrestling ring, I go out there to enjoy myself and have fun. You know, it's the best job ever. I wouldn't think about doing anything else.
I've been wrestling now for 7 years. Started at LDN training school, continued throughout, worked my way up through the ranks. Outside of wrestling, I mean, I've got a small child, so I guess bringing him up, full-time job. No, it ain't the easiest job, especially when you've got a newborn, 2-year-old, and try and travel up and down. It's quite a difficult job. Tell you the truth, always liked wrestling, always been into wrestling, always wanted to do it, always knew I had the athletic ability to do so. Like the training aspect of it, I love the fact that I can perform in front of a crowd. Carl is a very veteran individual, knows what he's doing in the ring, can hurt you at any moment in time. So, to tell you the truth, he's a big lump compared to me. So, it's not an easy task for me tonight. Opposites clashing. I mean, I'm quick, I'm fast. I use my athletic ability to my advantage. So, he don't really have much movement, does he, for his size? So, I'm going to use that to my advantage tonight.
Round 1 then, 6 3-minute rounds, 2 falls, 2 submissions or a knockout to decide the winner. Dave Walker, the referee, gets them ready. Away we go, no problems with identification here. Karl Kramer, an absolute colossus, 35 stone plus, against the 15 stone 3 pounds of young Hakan, the Peckham Playboy. Well, he said that he doesn't move very much. You shall see the big splash that Karl Kramer does from that top rope when he gets a chance. It really is a big finishing move. You don't get up from that. But he's got his work cut out here, though, John, hasn't he?
He certainly has. The first lock-up goes very quickly indeed to the big Barbarian, a big man indeed. As Hakan said earlier in the day, this is going to be a big styles clash between these two. Opposite build, opposite style. Basically, these two men could not be more different.
Absolutely. Another lock-up. But really, Hakan, although he is a very powerful man, has he got the power against the might of 35 stone? Barbarian Karl Kramer, trained for the ring by John the Bear Elijah.
Well, Lee, I think that's the big question. Does he have the power? No, he doesn't, and that's where he's going to have to bring in other elements of his arsenal, other elements of his repertoire. He's going to have to use his speed, his high flying, his agility, if he's going to stand a chance here today against the Barbarian.
And that's the way to beat them, because if they're that size, you certainly can't beat them on the strength or the power. You have to be able to run rings around them and really take them by surprise. Hakan's got the speed, agility, and of course he's got the youth as well. Much younger man, very fit, trains at least 5 times a week in the gym, and absolutely loves wrestling. Headlock now.
And another advantage that Hakan might have, although he might not be aware of it, is that Karl Kramer is actually wrestling on a broken ankle, I believe, or a broken foot bone.
Yeah, the doctors weren't happy that he was taking part in tonight, but he says, I'm going in anyway to destroy this boy once and for all. Basically, he doesn't like being told what to do.
Well, indeed, I'm pretty sure that in his day-to-day life, not too many people do try and tell him what to do.
5, 6, referee Dave Walker. Will he get to the count of 10? Well, that's not legal, not in British wrestling, because we're wrestling the Mount Evans rules here. 2 falls, 2 submissions, or the knockout. And once the hold is broken, the wrestler has to stand back. You can't follow through like you can with the American stuff.
And you can see there Kramer waiting right there for him with a big European uppercut.
30 seconds to go if he's going to do anything in round 1. So he has to wait till he gets onto his feet. Now he can attack. This big brawler, this big powerhouse from Hampshire.
And take a look at that, just whipping the young Hakan across the ring like he was nothing, but Hakan turns it around.
And there's the bell to end round 1.
And right on the bell, a bit of bad luck there for Hakan. Finally things starting to go his way. And the Barbarian very much saved by the bell.
So a little toweling down, a little water, but only for about 30 seconds, and we'll be right into the thick of it. Of course, it's 2 falls, 2 submissions on the knockout.
Indeed, Lee, this is not boxing, but if it was, that first round surely would have to go to the Barbarian on points alone.
Round 2 then, 5 to go. Well, no score yet. As we say, young Hakan of Turkish stock, they call him the Peckham Playboy. 6'2", so he's got plenty of height to him, but he is only 15 stone 3 pounds. But as you said earlier, John, the crowd here at Croydon, 800 people packed into the Fairfield Hall to watch British wrestling return to our screens. And I would say at least 90% of them cheering for this young Turk who's in a bit of trouble now.
Oh, very much Hakan, very much the crowd favourite here in Croydon today. Unquestionably a popular superstar up and down the halls of Great Britain, and really a big name to watch for the future, but he's certainly got his work cut out for him against the Barbarian.
Yes, the Barbarian went to the semi-finals of the Ironman Cup in 2010. Has won a series of titles along the way, but again, those big forearm smashes knocking him down. Hakan's really got to recover soon, because it's the advantage for the big man, and once he's got that advantage, he's just going to keep playing on those moves until he absolutely destroys this young fella from Peckham. Headbutt. The referee will call a break for that. That's on the ropes. Stand back, says referee Dave Walker, and gets a public warning for not breaking on time.
Well, Lee, could you explain to us exactly what a public warning entails, what it means?
Yes, in British wrestling in the Mount Evans rules, you get 2 public warnings for rule infringements, for breaking the rules, and then the 3rd public warning is automatic disqualification back to the dressing room. So Karl Kramer has 1, It's a very audio and visual way of the crowd being able
Well,
to
let's take a look at this, though, Leagues. Pardon me for cutting you off, but Hakan now up on the top turnbuckle. He's getting ready to fly with a big missile dropkick that takes the Barbarian off his feet. There's a cover. 1, 2.
Oh, very close.
And Hakan not wasting any time, going back up to the outside of the ring.
He's going to have another go. And a nice flyer now. Can he get him down for 3? 1, 2.
He hooks the leg.
My goodness, he's got it.
There it is. The first fall in this contest goes to the young Hakan.
And Karl Kramer can't believe that.
Round 2, the first fall of the contest to the Peckham.
He really can't believe that. He does not look happy at all, though. He's having a few words with the official.
Ropes is. I don't think he was on the ropes, but the Barbarian Karl Kramer will try anything.
Yeah, Lee, you and I think both know that he was nowhere near the ropes there. That was a great pinfall, pretty much in the centre of the ring from Hakan, who goes 1 fall up against the Barbarian Karl Kramer.
Seconds away, round 3.
So round 3, 4 to go then. And the young Turkish superstar Hakan 1 up against the Anglo-German tearaway Karl Kramer.
And Hakan wasting no time looking to follow up on the momentum of that pinfall gained in the last round. But Kramer having none of it.
As well as the weight, of course, you got youth versus experience. The Barbarian turned pro in 1987. This big mat marauder has wrestled everyone. And has said earlier on in his interviews that he's scared of no one. He says you sent a boy to do a man's job. Pressure points now. That, with all the power of Kramer, will really get to Hakan.
Indeed, Hakan fading fast now in the middle of the ring. He's a long way from the ropes. He is not looking so good now. That said, he is still 1 fall up in this contest, and the onus very much on the Barbarian to score the equaliser.
It's a nice position to be in for Hakan. Not this one we're watching, but the actual score of the match, that he is 1 up against the much more experienced, much heavier man at this early stage, only as far as round 2. So round 3 we're in now. He's got to take part and make sure he takes full advantage. Ooh, could he have gone out then?
A big drop kick. This time comes off the ropes, but gets launched to the outside and lands on the apron. Oh my, a big forearm from Kramer sends Hakan to the hard wooden floor outside, right in the laps of the fans here at the Fairfield Halls in Croydon.
And that was legal, that was fine, but the referee's got to let him come back in. But that's not. He's got to let him back in the ring. Oh, shall he go over the top, says Hakan. Well, he's going to have a go. Try, but he's got the ropes.
Hakan looking for that double leg Nelson. Unfortunately for him.
But he is on around this time. Barbarian Karl Kramer, well, yes.
He gets the 3. He's pulled it back, Lee. He's equalised it. Barbarian Karl Kramer 1, Hakan 1. And that is now the halfway point of this bout as well. 3 rounds down and 3 still to go.
Just over 2 minutes of that round, and Hakan is in trouble there, and so would you be if you had, 35 stone plus land on you like that. Do unto others before they do unto you, is what Karl Kramer likes to say. And what damage has done to those ribs. It doesn't take much to break the ribs of someone who's, yes, athletic, but as slender as Hakan.
Indeed, Hakan is clutching his sternum as well. He might be in a lot of trouble here. He didn't get up at all in between the rounds. And in fact, he hasn't got up at all, and the bell is already rung for round 4. And the referee is issuing a standing count.
That's legal. Out he goes. Well, the referee Dave Walker is saying don't throw. As long as you can grab a rope, you are allowed to throw them out. But what kind of landing has Hakan had? As you say, he's clutching his chest there. And having fallen out of the ring, he is in quite a bad way. He's got to really find all his fighting spirit to come back in now.
He certainly has, but he's got the fans here behind him at Croydon. They're getting well behind him here.
It's a David versus Goliath encounter, this one. And now he hasn't got an opponent to argue with. Kramer's arguing with anyone who will listen. Now the count goes on. 7, 8. Is he going to make it? He's got to get back in the ring, but well,
Kramer gives him a helping hand there over the top rope, back into the ring. and follows it up with a big boot to those probably already injured ribs. If he didn't have a couple of bruised or broken ribs before, he may well do after that big boot.
There's a very final private warning from the referee there. He'll be on his way to his second if he doesn't let him get up. So into the corner. Is he going to be sending him out? Across that windpipe, the choke hold there, not allowed. There's only so much the referee can take before he issues another and final public warning. And there it is.
So there's that second and final public warning for the Barbarian. You can see Dave Walker, the referee, he's saying, you're just not listening to me. You've got to listen to me or you will be disqualified. The referee now having a good look at Hakan. Got to make sure that he's fit to continue this contest.
He's giving him a chance to get up. And there goes the bell. And you can see now the ankle of Karl Kramer really starting to give him a little bit of jip. Bad enough walking on a broken ankle, let alone wrestling on it.
You're looking at the winner. You are looking at the winner.
Doesn't seem to have perturbed Kramer too much, though. He's telling the fans, you are looking at the winner.
You never remember the nice guys that lose at Kramer. He'll win at any costs.
What's he got to do with you?
Seconds away, round 5.
Round 5 then, and away we go.
Round 5, the penultimate contest, and Hakan there, sidestepping the Barbarian, runs off the corner rope, splashes into the corner, looking to follow it up with a second big splash across the body of Barbarian Kramer.
Oh, and a very neat move there, very nicely done from young Hakan. Now, how much damage has that done to Kramer? It's dazed him a little, and on that weakened ankle, you have to say that if he can land this one, Hakan, for once, actually does have the advantage at this stage.
But Kramer's still on his feet, he's still standing up. Hakan, though, once again on that top turnbuckle, flies off the rope and gets caught into a choke slam and lands hard right on the back and shoulders.
Trying for the big splash now does the big man from Hampshire. We haven't seen his speciality yet, but if Kramer starts to climb that ring, you know that it's good night Vienna for Hakan if he makes contact.
Well, Hakan's got to avoid that big splash at all costs, and he's going to do everything in his power to do so. Goes for another cover. This could be all 1, 2, and a kick out from the Barbarian.
Just up in time. That's the only thing you can do with this big man. Blocks everything that heads to him. There's these big body blocks can block a train. Here he comes, straight into the foot. That's the experience, and you have to say perhaps the inexperience of Hakan.
Yep, the Barbarian using Hakan's own motion against him there, picks him up for a pump handle slam and plants him down hard again on the back, and I think he hit his left elbow as well. Hakan really having a rough time of it here in round 5.
John, have you noticed where he's going?
I have, he's going up top. I thought the ankle might have stopped him from doing that, but things now really going from bad to worse for Hakan.
And there it is, there's the big splash, and no one will get up for that. 1, 2, 3, and there it is, that's the winner from the big man. The Barbarian takes it, my goodness, the hip and the chest of Hakan is going to be really damaged by that.
2 falls to 1 in round 5. Your winner, the Barbarian Karl Kramer, defeating the young Hakan here at the Fairfield Halls in Croydon. And I, for one, I'm pretty worried about Hakan. He'd already sustained a lot of damage to those ribs earlier in the contest. I dread to think what that big splash will have done.
Well, his seconds coming in to make sure, try the best they can. We do have a medical assistant here at the Fairfield Hall as well, but Karl Kramer's not bothered about that. He's got the win. That's all he cares about. He's going to go back to the dressing room and he's going to say to anyone who listens, I've won yet again. Well, you have to say that he may have been right with his rhetoric earlier on about sending a boy in to do a man's job. Hakan is superbly fit, a superb athlete, but really at the end of the day, well, the Barbarian was just too much of a handful.
No question about that. Hakan started strong. He got the first fall over the Barbarian. But at the end of the day, 2 falls to 1. The score says it all. Barbarian Karl Kramer walking away with a big victory. And it looks like he's not over yet. He's not done for the night. He will fight anyone in his path.
I think Hakan's going to need some help in getting out of the ring. But he will be attended to in the medical room here at Fairfield.